Have you ever looked at someone successful and thought, they're just lucky? Maybe you've seen someone start a business that suddenly explodes, or someone on social media who seems to rise overnight, or a celebrity who appears to have everything handed to them. And in that moment, a quiet voice in your mind whispers, some people are just lucky. But here's the question that can change your life. Is success really about luck, or is it about hard work? Because if success is mostly luck, then your future is out of your hands. But if success is mostly hard work, then your future is something you can build. And that difference changes everything. Let's start with something most people don't realize. What we call luck is often just a visible result of years of invisible work. Think about it. When a startup becomes a billion-dollar company, people say, wow, they got lucky. But they didn't see the founder working 16-hour days for 5 years. When an athlete wins a championship, people say, what a lucky moment. But they didn't see the thousands of hours of training, injuries, and sacrifice. When a YouTuber suddenly goes viral, people say, that was pure luck. But they didn't see the hundreds of videos that barely got any views. Success looks like luck to people who only see the final moment. But to the person who lived the journey, it was never luck. It was effort. It was discipline. It was persistence. In fact, hard work does something powerful that most people underestimate. Hard work creates opportunities. Imagine two people. One person sits at home scrolling through their phone, waiting for something good to happen. They complain about how unfair life is. They blame the economy, their boss, their background. The other person wakes up early. They study new skills. They work on projects after their job. They fail, learn, and try again. Now ask yourself, which person will look lucky 5 years from now? The truth is simple. Luck often finds a person who is already working, because when you work hard, you increase your chances. You meet more people. You try more ideas. You gain more skills. You create more moments where opportunity can appear. It's like buying more lottery tickets, except instead of gambling, you're investing in yourself. And here's something even more powerful. Hard work builds something luck never can. Confidence. When you earn your progress through effort, you begin to trust yourself. You know that if things go wrong, you can rebuild. You know that if you lose everything, you can start again. Because the real power was never the money, the title, or the recognition. The real power was the person you became while working for it. Luck can give you something overnight, but hard work turns you into someone who can succeed again and again. Look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't just get lucky once. They win repeatedly. Why? Because their success isn't based on chance. It's based on skills, habits, and relentless effort. And those things can't be taken away. But there's another reason people love to believe in luck. Because believing in luck removes responsibility. If success is luck, then failure isn't your fault. You can say, I just didn't get the right opportunity. The timing wasn't good. Other people had advantages. And sometimes those things are true. Life is not perfectly fair. Some people start with more resources. Some people have better connections. Some people are born into opportunities others never see. But here's the important truth. Hard work is still the greatest equalizer. History is full of people who started with nothing and built extraordinary lives. Immigrants who arrived with empty pockets and built businesses. Athletes who grew up in poverty and became champions. Entrepreneurs who failed again and again before finally breaking through. They didn't wait for luck. They built momentum through effort. And momentum is powerful because once you start moving forward, doors begin to open. Skills compound. Connections grow. Confidence expands. And suddenly, people say something interesting. You're so lucky. But they didn't see the nights when you were exhausted, but kept going. They didn't see the sacrifices. They didn't see the moments you almost quit. They only saw the result. And that's the biggest illusion about success. People celebrate the outcome, but ignore the grind. But here's something you must understand if you want to build a powerful future. Luck might open a door, but hard work is what allows you to walk through it. Imagine someone wins a big opportunity tomorrow. Maybe they get hired by a top company. Maybe their business suddenly gains attention. Maybe their video goes viral. If they're not prepared, that opportunity disappears just as fast. But if they spent years developing skills, discipline, and resilience, that opportunity becomes a launch pad. So the real strategy in life isn't waiting for luck. It's preparing yourself so that when luck appears, you're ready. Think of it like this. Luck is a spark. Hard work is the fuel. Without fuel, the spark dies instantly. But when fuel is ready, that spark can start a fire that changes everything. And here's the good news. Hard work is something you control. You can't control where you were born. You can't control the past. You can't control every opportunity. But you can control your effort today. You can decide to learn one new skill. You can decide to work one extra hour on your dream. You can decide to push forward even when motivation disappears. And those small decisions, repeated every day, slowly transform your life. Because success is rarely one big moment. It's thousands of small moments where you chose discipline over comfort, effort over excuses, growth over fear. So the next time you look at someone successful and think they're lucky, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a better question. What kind of work did they do that I didn't see? Because behind almost every lucky person is a story filled with struggle, persistence, and relentless effort. And the same possibility exists for you, not because you're lucky, but because you're capable of working for something bigger than where you are today. And once you understand that truth, you stop waiting for life to change, and you start building the life you want with your own hands. Most people say they want success. They say they want money, freedom, respect, and a better life. But when the conversation shifts to the price of success, suddenly the room becomes quiet. Because the truth is simple. Success always has a price, and that price is usually hard work, patience, and persistence. This is where the battle between hard work and luck really begins. Many people wait for the perfect opportunity. They wait for the right connection, the right timing, or the moment when everything magically aligns. They convince themselves that one day luck will knock on their door. But the problem with waiting for luck is that time keeps moving. Days turn into months. Months turn into years. And suddenly people look back at their lives wondering why nothing changed. Meanwhile, somewhere else, someone with fewer resources, fewer advantages, and fewer connections is quietly working every single day. They are learning when nobody is watching. They are practicing when nobody is clapping. They are improving when nobody believes in them. And slowly, something incredible begins to happen. Their skills grow stronger. Their mindset becomes tougher. Their confidence becomes unbreakable. This is the secret power of hard work that luck can never replace. Hard work transforms you. Luck might give you a moment, but hard work gives you ability. Think about the most respected people in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, actors, scientists. None of them reached the top simply because they were lucky. They reached the top because they became so good, so prepared, and so relentless that opportunity could not ignore them anymore. Imagine a basketball player who practices free throws for hours every single day. At first, they miss constantly, but over time, their accuracy improves. Their muscles remember the motion. Their confidence grows. Then one day, in a championship game, with thousands of people watching and only seconds left on the clock, they step to the line and make the winning shot. The crowd explodes. Commentators shout, "What an incredible moment! What a lucky shot!" But was it really luck? Or was it the result of 10,000 repetitions when nobody was watching? This is how life works. The world often labels preparation as luck, but preparation is built through hard work. And here is something even more powerful to understand. Hard work doesn't just increase your chances of success. It also changes how you see challenges. People who rely on luck often fear failure. Because if luck disappears, they feel helpless. But people who rely on hard work see failure differently. To them, failure is information. It's feedback. It's a lesson showing them what to improve next time. This mindset is what separates winners from everyone else. When something goes wrong, the average person says, "Maybe this just wasn't meant for me." But the person who believes in hard work says something very different. They say, "What can I learn from this?" That simple question can change the direction of your life. because every failure becomes a teacher instead of a wall. Think about how many successful companies failed before becoming giants. Some entrepreneurs lost everything before building their dream business. Some inventors created hundreds of unsuccessful prototypes before discovering the breakthrough idea. But they kept going, not because they were lucky, but because they understood something powerful. Progress belongs to the persistent, and persistence is fueled by hard work. There's another truth most people never talk about. Hard work creates discipline, and discipline creates freedom. At first, that might sound strange. Most people think discipline means restriction, waking up early, working long hours, pushing yourself when you feel tired. But those habits slowly build something extraordinary. They build control over your life. When you develop discipline, you stop being controlled by distractions. You stop wasting hours scrolling on your phone. You stop quitting when things get difficult. Instead, you start directing your time and energy towards something meaningful. And that's when real progress begins. Because success rarely comes from one giant leap. It comes from consistent effort over a long period of time. 1 hour of learning every day becomes hundreds of hours in a year. One small improvement every day becomes massive growth over time. This is called the compound effect. Just like money grows with compound interest, effort grows with compound results. The person who works hard today might not see immediate success tomorrow, but give that effort months and years, and suddenly the gap between them and everyone else becomes enormous. People will look at their achievements and say, "Wow, you're so lucky." But the truth will always be deeper than that. Luck may have opened a small door, but hard work is what built the entire house. And here's the most important message you should remember. You don't need perfect circumstances to start. You don't need special connections. You don't need everyone to believe in you. What you need is the willingness to begin, to start learning, to start improving, to start working towards something that matters to you. Because the moment you stop waiting for luck and start building your skills, your future begins to change. And once that momentum begins, something amazing happens. You stop chasing opportunities. Opportunities start chasing you. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must choose between comfort and growth. Comfort is easy. Comfort is familiar. Comfort is staying where you are and hoping that somehow life will improve on its own. Growth, on the other hand, demands effort. It asks you to wake up earlier than you want. It asks you to keep going when you feel tired. It asks you to keep believing even when results are slow. This is why so many people choose to believe in luck, because believing in luck allows them to stay comfortable. If success is luck, then there's no reason to push harder. If success is luck, then there's no reason to sacrifice. But deep down, most people know the truth. They know that the life they want will not appear by accident. It must be built. Every dream has a hidden cost behind it. The dream of financial freedom costs discipline. The dream of becoming great at something costs thousands of hours of practice. The dream of changing your life costs the courage to step into the unknown. And this is where hard work becomes powerful. Hard work trains your mind to keep moving forward even when motivation disappears. Because motivation is temporary. Some days you feel inspired. Some days you feel unstoppable. But many days you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will stop the moment things get difficult. But when you build the habit of hard work, something different happens. You work even when you don't feel like it. You move forward even when progress feels slow. You keep showing up even when nobody notices. And that consistency separates the extraordinary from the average. Look at any great achievement in history. Behind every breakthrough, every championship, every successful company, there were years of effort that nobody celebrated. There were sleepless nights. There were moments of doubt. There were times when quitting seemed easier than continuing. But the people who succeed understand something that most people ignore. Success is rarely about being the smartest person in the room. It's often about being the last person who refuses to quit. Hard work builds that resilience. It teaches you that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are just part of the process. Every time you face a challenge and keep going, your mind becomes stronger. Every time you fail and try again, your confidence grows. And slowly, you begin to realize something important. The limits you once believed in were never real. They were just fears waiting to be challenged. Think about a person who decides to change their life. At first, the journey feels overwhelming. The goals look huge. The obstacles look impossible. But they start anyway. One small step, one new habit, one improvement at a time. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. And suddenly they look back and realize they are no longer the same person they once were. They are stronger. They are more disciplined. They are more focused. This transformation didn't happen because of luck. It happened because of consistent hard work. And here's the incredible part. Once you develop that mindset, it spreads into every area of your life. You begin to approach problems differently. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," you start asking, "How can I solve this?" Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you start thinking, "I will figure this out." That shift in thinking is powerful, because the moment you believe that effort can change your future, you stop seeing obstacles as permanent barriers. You start seeing them as challenges to overcome. And that mindset creates momentum. Momentum leads to progress. Progress leads to confidence. Confidence leads to bigger opportunities. And suddenly, the person who once waited for luck becomes a person who creates their own chances. This is why hard work will always matter. Not because it guarantees instant success, but because it guarantees growth. And growth is what eventually leads to success. The world may call it luck when your moment arrives, but you will know the truth. You will know it was a result of every early morning, every sacrifice, every moment you chose discipline over comfort. Because in the end, luck may start the story, but hard work is what writes the ending. At the end of the day, the debate between hard work and luck comes down to one powerful truth. You can't control luck, but you can control your effort. And that simple realization can change the direction of your entire life. Think about it for a moment. Every successful person you admire had moments where things didn't go their way. They faced rejection. They experienced failure. They dealt with doubt from others and sometimes even from themselves. But they made a decision. Instead of waiting for perfect circumstances, they chose to keep moving forward because they understood something that many people learn too late. Progress belongs to the people who refuse to stop. Hard work is not glamorous. Most of the time, it's quiet and invisible. It's waking up early while everyone else is still sleeping. It's studying when others are relaxing. It's pushing through one more hour when your mind tells you to quit. In those moments, there is no applause. There is no recognition. But those moments are where your future is being built. Every extra effort is like placing another brick in the foundation of your success. At first, the progress feels slow. Sometimes it even feels like nothing is changing. But day by day, week by week, those small efforts begin to stack up. Skills improve. Confidence grows. Opportunities start to appear. And then one day, something happens that people from the outside call luck. Maybe you get the job you dreamed about. Maybe your business finally takes off. Maybe your project gets the recognition it deserves. To the world, it looks like it happened overnight, but you know the truth. It was built through months or years of effort that nobody saw. That's the power of hard work. It prepares you for the moment when opportunity finally arrives. Because when that moment comes, the question will not be whether you were lucky. The real question will be, were you ready? Hard work makes sure the answer is yes. And here's the most important thing to remember. You don't have to be the most talented person. You don't have to start with the most resources. You don't have to have everything figured out. What matters is that you start where you are and commit to improving every single day. One step forward today, another step tomorrow. Over time, those steps create a journey that can take you further than you ever imagined. So stop waiting for luck to change your life. Stop believing that success belongs only to a chosen few. Your future is not decided by chance. It is shaped by the choices you make every day, the effort you give, the discipline you build, the persistence you show when things get difficult. Because in the end, luck might give someone a moment, but hard work gives you a lifetime of possibilities. And the moment you truly understand that, you stop hoping for a better future, and you start creating it. Rock it.